She's expertise in Java and proficiency in front-end development, and she has good knowledge in technologies like Java, JavaScript, Python, Spring Boot, Django, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and MySQL. And she has worked in few multinational companies as full stack developer, and she has conducted many internal training sessions on full stack development concepts and acted as a mentor for junior developers and provided guidance on best practices to her junior developers in her working place. And we have a very good resource person today. So now I would like to call Miss Bhavani to take over the session.
Yeah, hi guys. Thanks for the hi guys. Thanks for the brief introduction, Kartika. So basically, as she said, I am from intellect design arena right now. I'm working. So I have some good expertise in Java and Spring Boot. Other than that, my personal area of interest is AI and machine learning. So I'm learning and still working on some projects in AI and ML. So I don't know what is the expectation from me, but the agenda of today is about basics of generative, like what is generative AI and how it is evolved, and how we differ Gen AI from other machine learning models. So in today's session is going to be very basic, like what are the ethical complications of using generative AI, and which applications are using generative AI. So these are all I'm going to cover today. Probably tomorrow I'll just cover with how every application uses generative AI and how it has evolved, that we are going to see today, and how each application uses generative AI and how we can utilize it in our day-to-day life. And in case of any queries, please stop me in the middle. So don't hesitate. Feel free to stop me in the middle in case if I am not getting along with the concept or something. Okay, thank you. I'll just share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible? Can someone acknowledge?
Yeah, it's visible,
Thank you.
Bhavani.
Okay, so introduction to generative AI. First, introduction to generative AI. We'll first coin the term artificial intelligence. So, artificial intelligence means, let's split it out, artificial plus intelligence. Intelligence means something that human beings are proud of. We possess and we have intelligence. We can proudly say that in the prism of intelligence, human being takes the first place. But artificial intelligence means something that we are trying to recreate, or something we possess. So we are trying to create something that is that is happening inside our brain. So that is artificial intelligence. So what is generative AI? Generative AI means it is going to create something. Generative AI is definitely it has to create something. It could be an image or text or music, or it could be anything based on the data that we give, or the instruction that we give to the model. So generative AI is something called it will generate something based on the intelligence that we provide to a machine. It can't overtake us, or it can't like we have seen many movies like Terminator or something. And there we see robots will take over the world, something like that. But in my opinion, it's never going to happen, because we are something we are going to feed something to that machine. So it's never going to happen from my perspective, though it has capabilities that we can't do it in a consent perfect time, like in a precise time. It will do something, but it won't overtake human beings, definitely. So the examples of generative AI applications are chatbots, image generation. The example applications: image generation, music composition. In recent times we have seen videos of the famous politicians speaking Tamil or something using the generative AI. Or in we have seen news also, deepfake technology has been misused in many places, and we are seeing in day-to-day life. So, what is the history and evolution of generative AI? AI and ML are like very old, but generative AI is something relatively new. I'll explain that in a moment. So early beginnings of AI, the concept of AI date back to 1950s. So in 1950s, it is mentioned. I'll tell you why. So the World War happened. World War II happened. First World War is 1914 to 1918. I'll tell you why I'm telling the history not related to computer. 1914 to 1918, and World War II happened in 1940s. So in 1940s, what happened was Germany was taking over everything, and England has to take over Germany in some way. So for that, a person from England have developed a machine, and his name is Alan Turing. So he first developed a machine to crack the encryption and decryption, and it has called computer. He has not recognized because it was a war secret. But after that, like after 10 years, someone called John McCree has developed that coined the term artificial intelligence. He has not developed anything, he just coined the term artificial intelligence. So the main credit goes to Alan Turing because he was the one who have done everything about the computer and giving intelligence to a machine. And he has recognized way back later. And if you guys have not watched Alan Turing's movie, you can go and watch, and it is really inspiring those who want to pursue the career in computer science. So, and key milestones in AI development in 1956, yeah, the term artificial intelligence is coined by John McCree, and 1980s rise of machine learning. So, what is the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning? Artificial intelligence is a very vast field. Inside the artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, deep learning, and everything. So, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. It's not something different from artificial intelligence or something different. So, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Deep learning is subset of artificial intelligence. So, 1980s the rise of machine learning. After that, 2010s the rise of deep learning revolution. So, I'll tell you what is the difference between machine learning and deep learning. So, emergence of generative AI. So that's why I told you, generative AI is comparatively very relevant. I mean, comparatively very new than machine learning and deep learning because it was started developing in 2014 only. So that's why we are studying these concepts now because and emerging concept or trending concept, cutting edge technology. Okay, machine learning, how generative AI works. Machine learning and neural networks. Generative AI uses machine learning models to generate new data. So, somebody here would like to volunteer to define what is machine learning and what is neural network. If you want to, I can give you like 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Somebody want to volunteer what is machine learning and neural networks in case if you know. Okay, no problem. Uh, I'll explain. Machine learning and neural networks. Machine learning, if you spread out the term, machine is learning something, and neural networks. Neurons in our brain, we have many neurons. So when you learn, this neuron will develop in our brain. So those who won't learn, the neuron will degrade. This is how brain works. So the scientists, computer scientists, had tried to reproduce the same in computers by developing neural networks. So if you feed data or data set to a machine, the neurons will be created, and these neurons will be provided to a machine learning model, and the machine learning model will learn something from that, and it will give an output. For example, so I have provided. There are so many websites for you to get data sets. Let's say I get the data for diabetes. I got the data of like 50 lakh people who are all diabetes, who are all have diabetes, and 50 lakh data set. I mean 50 lakh data set. In that, let's consider 25 lakh people does not have diabetes, and 25 lakh people have diabetes. So I have provided the data like when they wake up, what are the foods they eat, what are all the things they do, and are they active, physically active, are they having junk food, the details like that to a model. Okay, first the model will learn from that, then I'll provide a new data to the system apart from this 50 lakh data. So like this is my routine. So will I have the chance to get diabetes in my 40s or 30s, and it will replay from learning that data. For every data, it will create a new neural network. From that network, it will diagnose something and it will return something to us. So that is how machine learning model works and the neural network works. So in the neural networks, we have several networks like convolutional RNN, convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network, and these are all used in many medical applications. Not only in medical application, in any every fields they are using neural networks. So how is it different from generative adversarial neural networks? Okay, generative adversarial neural networks consist of two neural networks. So in the old machine learning models, not old machine learning models, in the machine learning models that does not use generative adversarial neural networks. So let's consider a machine learning model that uses RNN, recurrent neural network, or convolutional neural network, like that. So how would this different from generative adversarial neural network? If let's consider we have provided like subjective data. uh, Recently Russia and Ukraine war is going on, right? So I'll provide some subjective data like Russia is developed this time and Russia has these many resources, Ukraine has these many resources, Ukraine is different from Russia in this way, people are like this, like very subjective things I'll provide to a machine learning model. Recurrent neural network and convolutional neural network will not be able to learn these things because they just get the fact only and they don't analyze the fact. They learn from the fact, definitely, for sure. That's why they are called machine learning models. They are different from how Excel is different from machine learning model by this way only. They can get the facts, from that facts it will create a statistics model, and the statistics model will give us some output, definitely. But it won't get subjective information like a human being. So it won't listen to something, it will just get the fact, it won't analyze it. But generative adversarial neural network, like two network, a generator and a discriminator. Can someone would like to volunteer to say meaning of what is discrimination? What is discrimination? Somebody like to say? Am I audible? Kartika, am I audible? Okay. Hello.
Yeah, ma'am, you are audible, but
Okay,
sometimes
okay.
voice is a little bit low and
Oh, my voice is little bit
not
low.
fast, ma'am. Go slowly.
Uh, yeah, okay. Was my session audible or did you miss something? Because I didn't realize that. Is it better now? Anything? No. Is my voice better now?
Yeah, yeah, Bhavani, you're audible.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you, Pratik. All right. So, discrimination is something we have the capability to discriminate someone. They are like this, they are like that. It's like some kind of stereotyping or prejudicing someone. So we will say like Americans are like that, or Indians are like that. We say just like that, right? These people will be like that. Engineers are like the doctor like that. So the ability to differentiate two people is called discrimination. So that generative adversarial neural networks will do. So if we provide some information, it will check whether it's a sum game. We would say generator will accept the data and try to reproduce the data. Like if I am feeding an image to a generative adversarial neural network, and I'm asking a generative adversarial neural network to produce an image of me by giving some data. I'll be like this. I am this. My height is this. My weight is this, and you have to produce me. And my hair is black like that, and I'm Asian. So generator will get the data, and discriminator will enhance. It will always give some negative inputs to the generator till the generator gives the 100% output. For example, let's give two details about recently Israel war or Russia Ukraine war is going on. If we give some data to generate adversarial neural network, and if I ask is Russia is good or is Ukraine is good, is Israel is good or Gaza is good, it will give very subjective information like Russia have done all these things, and Israel has done all these things, Gaza has done all these things, Ukraine has done all this. So it will leave us to judge something. It won't come to some irrational decision. It will be very rational, and it will say by comparing things, and it will try to create something by accepting the facts and subjective information. So objective information is something a fact, like sun is hotter or earth revolves around the sun. These are all objective information. Subjective information is like, is Bhavani good? Based on my personality, they will tell whether I am good or not. But subjective, when we go for subjective information, it has to learn something. So for that, they have a generator and discriminator. So if we go to any generative adversarial neural network, like OpenAI is developing ChatGPT. So in that ChatGPT, it will have variational autoencoders, I mean transformers as ChatGPT. So transformer is something other generative models I'm trying to say, transformers or ChatGPTs, and variational autoencoders, VAEs. They are developing. They are another kind of generative AI, and like medical research people are trying to do variational auto encoders to get the gene information and gene data to correct diabetes or cancer, any disease like that. Like if you go to transformers like GPT-3, it's not specifically, specifically mentioned as GPT-3. It doesn't mention I didn't mention GPT-4 because GPT-4 has generative adversarial network. So if you ask ChatGPT something, ChatGPT 4, especially ChatGPT 4, something like, so whom do you support for the war, or whom do you support in the British versus India? So is Gandhi is good or Subhash Chandra Bose is good? So if you give some controversial information to that, it will provide you it will provide information back very cleverly by subjecting all the facts. So it mainly happens because generative adversarial networks as generator as well as discriminator. So whatever a generator generates, it will be discriminated by discriminator. So it will say, no, you are wrong. You have to do it like that. So that's how generative adversarial networks work. We don't have any like specific so many materials or papers about generative adversarial network because it is very recent technology. But we do have some GitHub links and projects that are relevant to this. I'll get you those details tomorrow. Today we'll just stick with the theory. So first, identification and pioneers in Gen AI. Key researchers and institution, Ian Goodfellow, creators of Gen. So yeah, this Ian Goodfellow was the first one who like created the concept of Gen AI by creating two neural network, even inside a neural network, two generator and discriminators, and giving them data, and it will conclude the result by itself without human interruption. So if we give some data to a neural network which has generator and a discriminator, it will process by itself and it will conclude it's by itself without human intervention. And significant breakthrough on papers, yeah. Obviously, Ian Goodfellow made the significant breakthrough. And after that, we have very few papers in the market about Gen AI. Many papers explain about what Gen AI and generative adversarial networks, but we don't have many information about how these things really work. So attention is all you need paper in introducing transformers. The attention is all you need paper introducing transformers is mainly by defines how ChatGPT works. Not only ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have Bot, and future Google is going to interrupt AI model in their search engine itself. Applications of generative AI, use cases in different industries. So in entertainment industries, creating realistic CGI and animations, healthcare, drug discovery, and medical imaging. Art, generating paintings and music. Okay, so here we have different industry that I have mentioned. Is anyone like to volunteer where they have actually seen how AI works and got something curious about how it has done all these things, or anybody like to contribute to say something, or is there any doubts about Gen AI about the generator and discriminator, because this is the main core concept that I am going to take up tomorrow again. and I'm going to elaborately explain in a.
Ma'am, I have a questions
Yeah, please.
regarding tools. Which tools we can use for executions of generative AI model or something? Is it any I have saw somewhere in IBM
Hmm?
practical generative AI tools. So
Okay.
will you give some demo on any programming of this generative AI? Any examples or something practical hands-on?
Okay, right now I am not going to any demo tomorrow, but I'll explain you the code because I have done generative adversarial neural network in my computer. It is like pretty bad condition now, but I'll definitely show you the project where I have used generative adversarial network. It is in like not very beginning. At the same time, it's not very advanced, but I'll walk through with the steps and how I have created a generative adversarial neural network where I got the data set and how it works. Is it okay?
Yeah, ma'am, thank you. And please discuss some research perspective for the PhD students or MTech scholar, those who can work in this field, generative AI, for their
Okay.
research work.
Okay, before going to generative AI, I would suggest everyone to learn one basic programming language. It could be Python. It would be best because in Python they have inbuilt all the libraries for generative adversarial networks. Why I'm saying Python means Python has incorporated many libraries that uses other programming languages also. For example, in Python we have TensorFlow which has written C++ codes, and we can easily call the function and use train our model. So the steps, if I say briefly, what are the steps involved while preparing a generative adversarial neural network means first we need to get a data set properly. So if you want to contribute something to government, you can get the government data set, and government has posted so many problems in their sites where they need generative adversarial neural networks. Not only generative adversarial neural networks, all kind of neural networks, what kind of artificial intelligence machine they need. That one is one option. We can get it from government, Indian government website itself. And the second main repository is Kaggle. From Kaggle you can Kaggle, you can get all the data sets you want for any. For example, someone prefer to develop an application for medical coding, or someone prefer to design application for banking sector, or someone design, mostly banking sector won't allow, will not be ready to pitch into AI right away because it is like it has so many drawbacks if the AI comes directly into banking sector. Maybe other sectors like marketing. So if you want domain-wise data sets, you can get it from Kaggle, and the other repository I would prefer is UseAI repository. So what you can do is first decide what kind of model you want to train, and then get data set according to that from any of the websites I have mentioned. Then after getting that, we need to do some basic concepts like we will not be very sure what kind of data we are getting from these data sets. So for that, we need to do is like data cleaning. We need to clean the data first, like pre-processing the data. We need to clean the data first, and if there is so many empty columns in the data sets, the machine learning won't a machine learning model won't learn much from that. So we can put median or mean value to that data set. That we can be easily done by so we can get the data set first, and then we can import the data set by using pandas in Python library. Then after importing it through pandas, so if you want to develop a generative AI adversarial neural network model, you can note down these libraries that I'm saying. It will be helpful. So after getting data and pandas, in the pandas we can do like data pre-processing. It will clean the data and it can insert mean or median or mode, whatever value you want. You can put it. Then after that we can provide any, you can develop any neural network model. Like it could be convolutional neural network, it could be RNN, recurrent neural network, it could be like you can have like logistic regression or linear regression, whatever model you want to develop, you can develop. So along with that, we can develop generative adversarial network also. So I would prefer very subjective information, or for very subjective model can use generative adversarial network. rather than very logical. Like if I want to compare logical linear and generative adversarial network, in the sense means logical means the the model will just return yes or no. So if you provide some apple, it will say it is apple or not. If you like, it's like a very kid kid kind of neural network to the machine learning. You provide some image, it will say whether it is apple or no. Sorry, apple or not. It could be yes or no replay. For that we could go for logistic regression. So the logistic regression is inside a library in python again, and the linear regression is also inside a python again. So we don't have to code anything, but I would say we should be very thorough about scipy, numpy, pandas, keras, tensorflow. These five libraries are very important, and we should know what are all the functions inside all these library to make sure we can use it effectively. So to get the knowledge about all the five libraries, I would prefer to read their official sites itself. So if you go to keras.com, you will get the documentation, AP documentation completely, sorry, package documentation completely. And if you go to pandas, you'll have the documentation. There they have mentioned all the methods, like how can we use the delimiter to separate the data, and how can we use mean median mode. All the information will be perfectly like documented in their sites. So probably tomorrow I'll go through code work. I'll go for a code walkthrough for a simple application, so you'll be easily using it for your future research purpose. First identification and pine is, yeah, it's obviously by Ian Goodfellow, and he had the breakthrough on 2014. So after 2014, we have ChatGPT, Germany. Bard was the first one. BRD was the first one, which was deployed by Google again. And applications of generative AI, as we know, it is used in vast amount, like or healthcare, entertainment, medical, or banking, or finance. It's used in everywhere, and China tops the industry always. They rather compared to USA or India, China tops the artificial intelligence industry because they are research and development have contributed more further. Because when you go for a generative AI applications, it will ask for you to more amount of like space, because it has to store like huge amount of information. So their data centers has to be developed, and it has to be preserved properly. So these complications are there because you have to give them like tons and tons of data. So if you ask ChatGPT today something about how Gen AI works, it will fetch it from its model only, which has stored the information. So if you give some new information to the ChatGPT itself, it will store the information that as well, and it by using discriminator and generator, it will compare the information and it will give you like prompt reply. So unpopular Gen AI tools and platforms are GPT-3, DALI. So if you are not aware of DALI by OpenAI, it's a GPT-4 functionality. Recently, ChatGPT has given like 5 free messages or something. There you can use DALI. DALI will give you like beautiful images. If you are going for like presentation like this, if you want some images that incorporate your information, if you want to make a flow chart or something, you can use DALI by OpenAI, again by ChatGPT. uh, okay, so challenges and ethical consideration, potential risk and ethical concern, misinformation and deep fakes. We should be very cautious that our model should not be like misused. And we have seen many news around us how they are misusing like ChatGPT and deep fakes, bias in AI generated content. Yes, why they say bias in AI generated content means, so if you ask Indian history to a chat GPT, it will say it from Westerners' perspective, not from Indians' perspective. We know that Indians have done so much for the freedom fighting, but if you ask something, it will give very biased reply, or there are three people, right? Conservative liberals, like we say, right, for right or for left wing. So it will mostly be in moderate, conservative, liberals, moderates. It will give moderate reply only. So it sometimes perplexes the people's mindset. If I'm a conservative person, if I use chat gpt, it won't work out for me for any philosophical kind of thing, or to know history. Model a generative AI model work doesn't work well. So it's based on how we develop that model. For example, if generative AI is handled by someone like China, we won't get proper information from them about the Indian history. It will be like always biased, so that is always there. And then even not only there, that kind of bias, the other kind of bias is people are questioning the integrity of the developers who are all using ChatGPT itself. For example, in many companies we are using ChatGPT, but there are other side of people also, the developers that don't use that don't prefer ChatGPT, because they are saying we are not using our brains to do some SQL queries or to correct something, we are using another people's brain. So that kind of bias will be always there. So that bias, we don't know what to do for that. So that is one drawback. And addressing biases and ensuring people responsible use. So developing ethical guidelines and policies, like by incorporating, when you are developing a generative AI model, you should incorporate a feature that if somebody asks you, somebody trying to manipulate you, or somebody trying to giving you like manipulated information, then you should be very cautious. For that, we have to provide another kind of data set to that same machine learning model, and it will develop itself automatically. Prompting transparency and accountability. So, what kind of data set we are providing to our machine learning model, and so the data we are providing itself shows what kind of model we are going to develop. So that is what's called promoting transparency and accountability. And future of generative AI, current trends and research directions, advancements in AI model and algorithms. So right now we are talking so much about ChatGPT or Gemini or bot, but there are so much neural networks are yet to come, and it will revolutionize and it will even replace us in many ways. But doesn't mean they are going to take over us. So generative adversarial neural network is something he has developed. For example, in future, some developer may come with a neural network that has like 5 neurons, and these 5 neurons will do like different job, and they will provide you something even a better output like a human. Even if you take ChatGPT, if you ask some emotional questions or mental questions, it won't reply. So by incorporating even more 5 principles of this thing, take this, and the GPT will become a new professional therapist, or it will replace a job that can be replaced by machines. Like you don't have, because there are in recent studies, if I have read so many papers about this developments, and people are trying to develop new therapists or psychologists using the model itself, not from generative AI, but from other kind of neural networks. They are trying to develop in different like in Stanford, they are trying to develop different kind of neural network to learn, like to replace the humans completely, that the jobs completely, to set us free. For that they are doing. So if you, even the generative AI is something their library, but if you go inside that, you can develop your own kind of neural network. For that, we need deep understanding of data, and how to process the data, how to feed the data, and how to ask questions cleverly. These are all the basic things that we need to know. And potential future developments, more realistic and creative AI generated content. So we don't have to, if a director in future after 30 years, the AI model could make a film itself. It will, if we feed some information like the hero is going to be like superstar, and the storyline is this, so I need a helicopter, I need this like Himalayan kind of scene. So it will divide. Right now the ChatGPT are developing an image. Maybe in future they'll develop a video itself, and they'll create or direct a film itself. In future, it is a possibility that the movie was directed by this machine learning model. It is a fair possibility. And broader application across various industries. So more than developing in entertainment industry, so other industries like if you don't have to go to doctor, so if we ask something ChatGPT, even we are seeing in Practo or Apollo medical applications, so they are replying automatically like these are the possible causes, and what should you do for the basic first aid. So like that it could develop. The doctors could, even doctors are the doctor's job are threatened, not only like developers or engineers job, the doctors the job also threatened, everybody's job is threatened. But it could be normal after some time, definitely. And the conclusion is Generative AI creates new content using machine learning models. Yes, they are using machine learning model only, nothing different. So machine learning model is a subset of artificial intelligence. Deep learning model is subset of artificial intelligence. Inside deep learning model, we have recurrent neural network, convolutional neural network. Inside machine learning model, we have linear regression, logistic regression, and so many regression techniques. So after that, we have right now we have GANs, which is generative adversarial networks. So we can develop another network also in future. And application span varies industry with ongoing advancements. Yes. And QA session. Any questions from the session? Any questions on how to? Because I put it very theoretical, I was not very sure about the audience. What is their expectation? So I have just went for theory. Maybe tomorrow I'll be more code perspective, code work.
Yeah, ma'am, I have other queries.
Yeah, please tell.
Ma'am, suppose we want to explore the generative AI.
Okay.
So, is it any good source to learn online or somewhere some content from where we can get some good books? Can you refer or something, some materials or some website or somewhere we can
Okay.
learn the things?
Sure. So first of all, we need to figure out what kind of learning we want. For example, some persons want books, some person wants video, some persons would like to use the generative AI models itself to learn something. So if you want
We
to,
want like case studies or something practical approach. How we can go through it
I
inside
would
the.
prefer, yeah, I would prefer if you have like some amount of like 2,000 rupees if you are willing to spend every month. I would prefer you to buy ChatGPT itself. It will be a great tutor to learn something. You can train your own model in ChatGPT itself. That is one way. And another way, when it comes to books, I don't say to for generative adversarial neural network or machine learning to get from books, but you can get the basics of Python language thoroughly from the books, definitely. But I would like to prefer to use for basics of Python. I have used Telesco, some channel in YouTube by Navin Reddy. It was good, and Hitesh Chaudhary channels. And after that, for AI and machine learning, I mainly used online resources from YouTube only. So wherever which area I want to learn, I just used YouTube videos only. After that, I have started using GPTs itself. So I'm learning from ChatGPT only these days. So whatever I want.
ChatGPT, which model you are saying? ChatGPT 4 or 5, 6, what you are saying?
No, me. ChatGPT 4o is the recent model. So ChatGPT 4o is pretty good. So it is
Okay.
like cost 1945 every month, like 1945 every month. So and I
Okay.
am using it for various purposes. So if you are new, if you give your model, it will give you the timetable itself, how to learn, what kind of application you want to do. Everything will be summarized in the generative AI model itself.
Sure, sure, sure.
Nothing would teach better than generative AI model about what is generative AI. So apart from that, if you have, yeah, please tell me.
Yes, ma'am. I have one question.
Yeah.
Can you tell more about the Kaggle?
Kaggle, yeah, Kaggle is a repository which was, I don't know which country holds the Kaggle repository, but the data sets are really good in Kaggle repository. You have to just go to kaggle.com and you can download the data set that whatever you want, but it will have some discrepancies. Some data sets are really not good, and you have to do like cleaning of the data. You have to remove some rows if most of the columns are empty. You have to pre-process the data very well for Kaggle if you are going for some very minute details. Tomorrow I'll show you
Means
how.
the data is you can say the reliable data is reliable,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
No, no, I
From
would not say
Kaggle.
we don't have to worry about the reliability when it comes to machine learning model. We have to, okay, for medical application, we need reliability. For that, I would prefer, if you want so much reliable data, I would prefer Indian government website itself. I forgot the website name, but tomorrow I'll show you what is the website name, and I'll show you what are all the data sets that we can use. If you want reliable data, please go for the our country website or any other country's official website. They have provided data set. If
Okay,
you
so
want
can you
to,
tell me tomorrow the authentic
yeah,
sites?
yeah, definitely. If you want to go for, if you want to develop a model that is against narcotics, you can go for NDPS website, Narcotics Disaster Circumstance website. Or if you,
I need for medical application, ma'am.
For medical application, Indian
Yeah.
government websites will be good actually. I've got the for Smart India Hackathon they are providing. I got the data set from Indian medical website only. I'll tell you where it is. Probably.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to be very reliable data, you should be very specific about the disease. And if you want to like get very much into the research, you can ask the government itself directly through an email. If the data is not present, otherwise in government data they have, but it will be very less data only. That is the only problem. But you can check with the government. You have requested for the data set for a project and they have replied. I got the data set while I was in final year of college, so it won't be a problem to get a data set because some information are confidential for diseases like HIV or something. They have to mask few information, then only they will provide information. But other diseases like common diseases like diabetes and all, we have huge number of data set.
Because, ma'am, I visited many hospital in my area, but
Mhm.
they are not ready to give the data.
May I know what kind of medical coding? I mean, medical model you are developing, and is there any
Means
specific?
to identify the Alzheimer disease.
Oh, Alzheimer. Okay.
Hmm.
For that, we have. I guess we have NCRB, not NCRB. Where we have. Okay. For that, we have NFHS data, National Family Health Survey data. Probably inside that, we if we go inside that, it will be there. Maybe I'll try to help you to get the data set. You can get my contact. I'll try to help you that get the data set for Alzheimer. If you go to if you yeah if somebody else is looking for some economic websites or something, you can get it from MOSP, Ministry of Statistical Program. It is also government website again. There they have provided. And if you want any help with data set, you can mail me. I'll have provide my mail number. Mail, sorry, not contact number. I'll provide my mail. I am very active in my email, so you can, if you want, you can mail. I'll try to help. I'll help you also. And tomorrow I'll show what are the famous data set website that you can relay. Anything else? Any other question? Okay. So if there are no other questions, the basic tool that we use for Anaconda for an environment. So these are all mainly I rely upon for the setup. Oh, thank you. So if you want a very, I didn't realize you guys expecting so much from the coding perspective. I thought I'm going to teach someone from like very starting their college or third semester, fourth semester people. That's why I took very theoretical session. Maybe tomorrow I'll try to cover more coding perspective. If there is no other questions, we could wrap up the session.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
This is very nice.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow with the code.
Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bhavani, and thank you, everyone. Please all join with the same link for tomorrow's session. Thank you. And team, please end the session. Inita, please end the session.